once again Chetan Bhagat ji. Thank you, sir, for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chetan Bhagat, an investment banker who started writing some of the best-selling and the most read books of our generation. His most famous book, 5 Point Someone, published in 2004, sold over 1 million copies worldwide. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
And to drive this discussion, we have with us Mr. Pankaj Rai, the Group Chief Data and Analytics Officer at Aditya Birla Group. Once again, let's hear that for Chetan Bhagat!
Up to us?
Yeah.
Wow. So first of all, Chetan and I have some common features between the two of us human beings. We talk in terms of futures. Chetan in this AI world, they talk of futures. So we went to the same college, IIT Delhi. We were in the same hostel, but at different points in time. He came 4 years later, so I missed him. And then I'm Ahmedabad. Me and my wife are both from the same state, UP. And he's from 2 states. So that's how I think that the similarity ended there, and then,
I think one state may be better only.
Is it?
With the passage of time.
Okay, with the passage of time. So I think let me start, Chetan, with, and I was standing outside before you came in, and I was talking to a bunch of guys to say, what do you want to know about Chetan? And what I heard was they were saying, he's this and he's that, and they were saying he's an author and he's a podcaster and he talks about politics and he writes in Hindi and all. So the question really in people's mind was, who's Chetan Bhagat and what does he stand for?
Same question in my mind also. I think. But first of all, okay, I will answer that. But thank you so much, guys, for coming and listening to me. I don't know what I have to, like, this seems so, like the quotes here, like, I love machine learning. Who loves? Who loves machine learning? I mean, I can understand I want to learn machine learning. I like it, but love? Anyway, so I think it's a very different kind of audience. Can I say this is a lot of nerds and geeks here? Proud nerds and geeks. I am also, it's okay. Yeah, so I think people who call themselves authors normally get trapped in their image of an author because it's a wonderful image. You're an author, automatic elevation to intellectual. You don't think authors are dumb, right? You think they are smart and they are intelligent and they are intellectual. So you become intellectual, so you become better than others. And you're better than others and you kind of defend that image. And that comes with a book that you have published. And then that's the book you've done. And I've seen it because I hang out in that community. Sometimes I have to, I don't like to. But lit fests and things like that. And I feel a lot of people are trapped in that image. And it's the same as that can happen in any job. Once you're comfortably sitting in any job, you have a title. Corporates give these fancy titles. New leadership. They call you leaders of tomorrow, but you're not a leader. If you are a leader, you would have your own company. I mean, once I made this mistake. I went to Deutsche Bank, where my previous employer, and this was a new vice president's induction, new leaders conference. I said, how are you leaders? How can so many leaders be here? Leader has to lead. And then they are just calling you leaders. But you start believing you're a leader. And then you want to try something else in life. But you're like, but I am leader of tomorrow. How can I leave this job? Look at my business card. Vice president. I was in investment banking, no? So investment banking, the vice president is like as many as the Zepto delivery boys. Basically. Not bad, no? My Bangalore jokes are on point. Bangalore is amazing, by the way. Bangalore is the only city I've seen where you go to Google Maps and the walking time is less than the driving time. The dot, dot, dot is a better, like a faster than the car. But anyway, no more Bangalore jokes. Okay, 2, 3 more later. So, I feel that a lot of people, all of us get trapped in an image and we limit ourselves. And then I thought, am I in the paper business? No. Am I in the ink business? No. Then if I'm not in the paper business and I'm not in the ink business, what am I really doing in this book? I'm actually giving my ideas, which can be a creative story, or if I write a newspaper article, I'm giving my opinion, or I'm giving my analysis, or whatever. So that is my job. I saw myself as a content creator long before the word content creator became the hottest thing. Now everybody is a content creator. Who is not a content creator? Your aunt taking a photo on vacation and posting is also content creator. So the moment I said I'm about ideas and medium is not important, it liberated me. The moment I said that my ego is not tied to this 5-point someone and #1 bestseller and author and this, that, it freed me to do other things. And I have therefore done other things in ways to express myself. Today it's YouTube. For example, I started last year, I'm 48 now. At age 47, I became a YouTuber. It was weird, it's strange to do YouTube with the mic and everything. But it's something I can do, I'm formless. And another great benefit of that has been that it has really enhanced my brand. You've heard of me more than any other writer. But I'm sure some of you read a lot of books here. And if you ask literature experts, they will say, Chetan is not the best author. You're nodding also. Yeah, that's... And yet I am sitting here. Where is the best author? I am the one sitting here. As Fireside Chat, keynote speaker, whatever. So why? Something to learn from that, right? Something to learn from that in life. I'm not the best author, I'm the best-selling author. You see the difference? You want to have the best-selling career. Who cares? They'll call you, you're the best employee, best employee. You stay in this position. That guy will promote, huh? You are very good. You're too good in this job. So, it's better to be best-selling. And I think doing all these different things, you saw, whether it's stand-up, whether it's YouTube, whether it's television, whether it's film, has given the brand, if you can call it, a far bigger recognition than any other best writer, and it has made me some money, and which is always nice, because people, they think writers are intellectual, that's the image. People also like writers to be little poor. It's only, like writer poor, startup founder rich. Whereas sometimes I've seen it can be opposite also. So that's I think why I see myself as a content creator, and it has helped my brand and not had an ego linked to my first success. That's very important. Don't have your ego linked to your success at your current job, because that ego will tie you down and you will be labeled a leader for the next 40 years without really being one. Sorry to any leader egos I might have heard.
Thanks, Chetan. So I think now coming to our topic of AI. So now you were a paper book author and I've read your books. And now I see, and you were talking about how you have adopted to digital. You have YouTube, you have statistics on your this thing. Now we see AI writing books. So what does this AI doing to your business, to your field, and how do you think about it, and where is it all going?
I think it's impacting every field. Now people tech definitely is affecting every field. AI is probably a more involved use of tech. It's a more specific use where there is a lot more learning, and it's essentially tech only, but it's more human-like actions it does, so it feels like it's actual human intelligence, but it's basically tech. And today, everybody is affected by it. I tell everyone, even if you make jalebis, you have a jalebi shop, you must have a tech strategy. And you're like, why? My grandfather made jalebis, my father made jalebis, I also make jalebis, and they're round, and that's okay. But no. If you get online order, what's your strategy? Jalebis get soggy in a normal box. What's your box? It's all part of tech. It's all part of all that. Now, is your jalebi Instagrammable? Why does it have to be this weird shape, which it's not looks nice, but if you make it like a really cool shape, 100% people are going to Instagram it. And then you'll become a big jalebi guy. That's a startup idea for you guys. Okay? But in books, I'll give you some very strange things. I used to do a 10-city book launch. Say I go to, of course, the big metros, including Forum Mall in Bangalore. I must have come 7-8 times over a period of 10 years. And then we discovered that each launch, let's say, costs us 2-3 lakhs to do. Travel, this, that. If we put the 2-3 lakhs on Facebook and Instagram and say targeted Bangalore, young people, promote, send a click-through link to buy the book, the ROI of this 2-3 lakhs is much better than a book launch. Which means, now again, ego ROI is not there. Ego is in me going to a mall, doing a launch and becoming this star thing. Then yes, many authors want that. They kept doing. I said, what is this? I don't need to go. We just stopped. There is no more book launches. Whatever budget is there goes into the digital marketing. And the kids in that city in Lucknow find out that I've released the book and the book reaches them. So imagine a 1,000-year-old product like books or a jalebi is going to get affected by this. So yeah, is that artificial intelligence? Yeah, but it's also NI, your natural intelligence, which you should use, which just means keep changing with the times. You know, it's some of the artificial intelligence applications are good only when they are coupled with natural intelligence. If you are not a smart businessman or woman and you have the best AI, you're not going to make money. So AI is there. Everybody needs to have some kind of strategy for it. Call it tech if you find it too difficult. But if you want to impress people, call it machine learning. Same difference. Yeah, you must have a strategy. It has affected my business tremendously. And my entire brand is digital, like social media. Everything is digital only. So yeah.
So I think the topics that people talk about in the context of AI, it's going to take away jobs. There's an ethics and morality aspect. Is it conscious and things like that. So there are many other flavors that people are talking about. So how do you think about that in your field and otherwise?
I do, as a couple of very good and very dense questions you asked. Is tech, AI, machine learning going to take away some jobs? The sad and not so discussed, the secret is yes, it will. It will take jobs. It does make things easier and it does take jobs. We were discussing in the green room. Take an example, some things are obvious, right? Shopping and all those other things. Take something like the army. The army. There is, I don't know, anybody whose dad or somebody was in the army? My dad was, yeah. So in the army, they have these core divisions, and there's something called signals. You know, signals, people used to lay cables so that in the battle, you can like just call from one tent to the other. You know, the commanding officers can talk to the soldiers, very important function. And they were all engineers and, you know, all linemen doing that job. Today, you can do it wireless, and what you need is a great encryption. What are all those line-laying people going to do, right? Today's wars are found on tech. They say, oh my God, should we send aircraft? No, no, no. They have that radar gun. The war in Ukraine has changed now because, you know, there is a new technology US has given that their aircraft, Ukraine aircraft, are not detected by radar. Or they have certain missiles that target radars in Russia. And that has changed the war now. And that's why Russia is, at least I read some articles, I'm not an expert. So, you know, that's something to think about. That will affect jobs. This whole Agniveer thing was created by the government, I think, because the army doesn't need so many people. They need more tech. And if you take so many people, give them lifetime employment, then you have to give them pension for life, it becomes a different burden on the... So somewhere like there also there are jobs getting affected. So for sure, that is the reality, that certain fields, jobs will get affected. Bangalore may not, because you guys will take away all those jobs, right? But yes, it's real, man. It's not about, and it's not even about, like, people, they make it about the government, right? This government is not creating jobs. This government is not creating jobs. What they want is the government to advertise 1 million government jobs tomorrow, which is not going to be enough and sustainable. But yes, these lot of the jobs which are not very involved in terms of the human creativity, application, skill, can be automated, and they are being automated, and they are kind of going away. For sure. My YouTube, I'll give example. My interviews that we do, we had a crew of 8 people coming to shoot that interview. We just said, let us just try to do it on iPhones. And we did it in cinematic mode, iPhone 13 onwards, they have it. We put it up on YouTube, people couldn't tell the difference. Now my own staff just switches on the phones, puts on a recorder. The same staff that does my accounts does it. It's not that skilled at all. 8 crew is no longer needed. I don't need. The cameraman is no longer needed because, it's kind of weird to be an iPhone cameraman, right? But that's exactly what we are doing, right? Editing, you put it in Final Cut, you put the 3 angles, it can match the clip. It does the syncing. I'm just telling more and more. Like 8 people used to come, now we didn't miss them at all. So we just have one, the makeup person who comes. But I'm sure one day we will have a little robot doing your drrrr. That's not very difficult. So it's real, man. Ethics of AI are also there. It's power. AI is power. It's like a knife. You can use it to cut apples and you can use it to stab someone. So ethics will always be there in any form of power. Political power, technical power, brute power. You can have a bodyguard to protect you and you can have a bodyguard to beat other people up for no reason. So the intention and the person controlling that technology, that human being behind it, that's really it. Like, nuclear energy can be used to make a nuclear bomb or a nuclear power plant. So same would be with AI, and you will need monitoring systems in place because the tech companies are private companies and they will be told by their shareholders to give returns. So they will basically do whatever it takes to extract the maximum juice out of the user, right? If they come up with an AI that is such amazing content that you forget your mom, dad, and kids, maybe, they have a great writer, you can't leave it, man, it's just too good. Then what? They will use it because they want to show you those ads or whatever. So and halfway through, it's already happening. Ask your kids, they like Instagram more or you? If you have the guts to hear the answer. Like, they'd be like, what do you mean? Like, which part of Instagram? Those ethics have to be there. And what was the last part? You asked something else.
The same ethics, AI, morality, and in your own business, are you?
Yeah, in my business.
People will write
the
books.
last thing I would say is this whole thing of AI is going to take over the world, and now they will one day, like the Matrix, or we will all be told. A little bit happened in COVID. What was that? I'm sorry. What was that? What were we doing? Monitoring and controlling everybody and using tech. If the tech wasn't there to do what we did in COVID, could we have done it? If the internet wasn't there, could we have done this? Work from home and, certificates and links and location and... No. We did it because we had the technology and we pushed the limit to see how much... And there was a disturbing element to it. Maybe it was for something good, but there was something disturbing. But it's still not possible, I think, for AI for a very long time to compete with the human mind in everything. The human mind is evolved after millions of years. And as a motivation speaker, I listened to a lot of people and a lot of talks and a lot of neuroscience. It's fascinating how the brain is designed. There is rewards, there is punishments, there are motivations, which are not very easy to create in algorithms. There is something called neuroplasticity, which is there in everybody. You can change your brain. The way you think can be changed. Kids have very high neuroplasticity, but even you have. If something some belief system, like let's say a person is very unfit for 10 years. One day they realize that no, this has not served me, but they go to a doctor and they get a shock when they see they have fatty liver or they have some high cholesterol, something. They can change and their brain will rewire attitudes. All those things AI is very, very far from doing. So it's not possible for at least 100 years for something like this to happen. What we can have is amazing computing power, which can keep getting better and better. But the complexity of the human brain, emotion, our responses, it's not going to be possible. And of course, reproduction. I don't think AI can reproduce, and in such a fun way at least, as we do. I mean, we just can't create more. It's going to be not there at that level, that they will rule the world and human beings will be killed. There are those theories also. So I'm just putting it out there. That's unlikely. We will kill ourselves. Humanity will kill ourselves with pollution, with wars, with divisive agendas. We will do all that. But that's for us. We can kill ourselves, but not machines.
Thanks. So now let's shift gears to the supply side of. So you sort of spoke about the demand, what's happening. Now on the supply side, I look at talent. You spoke about your makeup man, cameraman, folks in the room. How should they aspire for a career? Should I want to become a cameraman or a makeup man? How do I get skilled? What should be my skilling strategy? What should the supplier of the schools and colleges? So how do you think about this whole supply chain, which has been created to cater to that army person, to the cameraman, and there's a whole effect. What's your thought on that?
Your safest bet today is still to no tech. I mean, there is still not saturation in tech jobs. Your safest bet today is that. Maybe one day there'll be too many software programmers. I think in this city there are. But at least, I mean, come on. But there is still a lot of tech to be learned and to be delivered. So I think that is one path. Now, everybody cannot be a tech guy. But I think if you find your profession to be doing something, a very narrow set of repetitive tasks, which can be like, turned into simple rules, heuristics, even a little bit more complex, you are under threat. And I'm telling you, like Bollywood, there is, anyway the film's business has declined on an aggregate level. Occasional film may do well, whatever. But the aggregate secular trend is down. It's difficult. There are people who just adjust lights. That's their job, We only keep thinking of actors and stars, but the bulk of it is these technical crews which do very specific tasks. Audio sound mixing, for example. So if there are two people talking and we have to record this, there are two tracks, my track, your track, and someone would sit and manually mix it. These days, automatic mixing is so amazing that what is the sound mixer to do? He presses this and it's difficult. So I think these guys are in a lot of trouble. They will get unemployed. They will have to reskill themselves. I don't know how they will do it if they've been doing that for 20 years, 25 years. For the fresh people, the more little bit range of skills you need. Unless you're like very bang on in a very specific high growth area like machine learning, you are the authority. Then you can be super niche. But otherwise, you have to be willing to do whatever job comes your way, The people who do my accounts, I send them on a 4-day Final Cut Pro course. I said, I'm not hiring an editor each time. It's a half-an-hour job. It's a bunch of automated functions. It's a great app, Final Cut, and you can just do it. And they were like reluctant. I said, but what else are you going to do? So it's that way. You need to be little multi-skilled, and you need to watch out if your job is very specific, because someone's going to come and replace it very soon.
And Chetan, you do this deep talk, and I have seen several episodes. You're interviewing successful entrepreneurs and folks from different walks of life. So I'm also trying to look for clues to the last question on what are these people doing? Because they're very successful. They're obviously doing something great. So are there some lessons you can, share from those experiences on what these people are doing, and maybe we can derive some lessons from those?
Definitely. I mean, Deep Talk is more than anything. It's my podcast on YouTube, and where I mostly it's a bias towards new entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs. But there are some Bollywood people, and there are some interesting people I find who can have value to add. And I have learned a lot. Firstly, I have learned to listen a lot better because I am interviewing them. And I find that these people who honestly, I called them because I'd heard of them because they were worth billions. I just had not met so many billionaires. I wanted to meet billionaires. I wanted to see if they breathe different, they eat different, they have diamonds studded on their, I don't know, something. And that's the thing about Bangalore people, right? The richer you are, the poorer you want to, I am just normal. Why? You're not normal, dude. No, I live like normal people. Don't live like normal people. I'm like, fine. So it's very sweet. It's a big city, Bangalore, but it doesn't have that, because I've lived in Delhi and Mumbai, and I can tell you, Delhi is about, showing off your money and power, and Mumbai is about showing off your fame and which Bollywood actor, either your fame or your friend's fame. Like, I hung out with Shah Rukh last night, and I don't know how many people Shah Rukh is hanging with. They just say. But Bangalore is very like one of those morally upright cities. They haven't fallen into that shallow traps yet. Okay? So here it's cool to live simple. So one thing I found is all the tech guys who are worth billions live far simpler lives than somebody who is worth, I don't know, 50 million and who just has a marble business in Mumbai. Because boy, they really have marble in their house. So one is that. Second is, I really probe. I try to, the more the person comes across as simple, I really probe. What is it? This is like something for YouTube they're doing. But they really genuinely are not in it for the money, which is kind of sad because it's wasted on them. But, that's why I am not the billionaire. They are not doing it for that. There is a desire to create something different. There is a desire to help humanity. There is a desire to have impact on the world. There's a desire to solve a very complicated problem. It could be all kinds of motivations, but the money. In fact, they don't know what to do with the money. I am telling them, you can do this. You can let me show you how to spend it. A lot of them also say the money is not really in their hand. It's all in the valuations or whatever. So that I think is the motivation is very, very different. Having said that, I also find, while it's very sweet that they don't have these materialistic tendencies, which is great, I also find they live in the future. And the future is here and whatever, which is awesome. But that means they don't enjoy the present. They don't, because I have to remind them how far they have come. But they're already thinking of, we can grow 2 times more. We can go 5 times more. But I'm like, but dude, you're like a dinosaur already. You're like a giant. Yeah, but if we do this, and if we are going to that market, and we are going to Europe, and I'm like, okay. How about today? You're hanging out with such a cool guy. Huh? Yeah, but this evening I have to go there. Their mind, and that is again neuroscience here, our brain has 2 different circuits, completely different circuits to enjoy the present moment and plan for the future. We have 2 circuits. The chemical for future is dopamine, which wants more. That chemical wants more. It's not a pleasure chemical, by the way. A lot of people confuse it. It just wants the next thing. Just the next thing, right? And serotonin and stuff like that, which makes you enjoy this moment. Like you're here, it's nice, we're having a nice conversation. It's most driven people have excellent dopamine systems. Excellent live in the future system. In fact, phenomenal. But that often comes at the expense of the present. In fact, have you heard that these nerds who are these billionaires, and they want to help the world, then they want to do things for humanity, but they don't like people? Have you heard? They're like awkward with people. Why? Because when I'm interacting with you, I have to be in the present. I cannot think of my next event now. That's a different faculty, and I feel if you don't have that, you miss out on the enjoyment in life. These people are actually really serving humanity. They are helping you. get your cigarettes in 10 minutes or whatever, right? And kill you faster. But, but they are not often able to enjoy that milestone. Very few can. So I'm just telling you because many of you may dream of this, that, oh, what if I had that? Have you ever had this? You are planning a vacation is more fun than you actually get there. Right? We'll go here, we'll go to Goa, we'll do this, and you go there, and then it's like, okay, 3 more days left to go back. Your mind loves being in the future. Check it. Especially a lot of tech guys, a lot of engineers have this issue. A lot of driven corporate types have this issue. A lot of leaders have this issue. And you have to bring it to the present. And I find, especially the unicorn type entrepreneurs are so much in the future that they don't even know what it means to be in the present and to enjoy. They go on vacation, they are like, dude, let me just check my latest metrics. They are like that. They're not being, so it's very interesting to see how human beings are at that extreme. And that is what was most fascinating for me as a writer to observe. But at the same time, they're not materialistic. Like I said, they can't enjoy the present. So how they can know what to do with the money? They don't enjoy the present. They only love the future. The right mental health is to be able to switch between the two modes. When you're with your kids, when you're with your family, when you're with your friends, forget about the future, man. And when you're planning for the future, you plan for the future. But if you never enjoy the present, like this moment, this session, if you are not here, and you are not here, you didn't live that life because your brain took you somewhere else. So these guys are always somewhere else in the future. Like Elon Musk, look at him. Mars. Dude, what will you do in Mars? I mean, it's pretty nice. Many parts of the world, make them more accessible. You know? Make it faster to reach Kormangla. I mean, why have to go to Mars? One more Bangalore joke.
Thanks, Chetan. Maybe in the same way, if you were to reflect on your own life and journey, because that also appears very organic at times and maybe it wasn't. So help us understand what you were going through, how did this all happen, and how do you reflect back and think about it?
Absolutely. You're right. This is personal to me because I was living like this. Maybe not having a unicorn, but like, okay, Chetan Bhagat took off. 5 Point Someone and Kai Po Che and Three Idiots. What more can I do? What more can I do? And I was running after the future. And then I realized that it's not, this can't be life. This can't make me happy. This is me constantly chasing something. But the moment I get that chase, it'll be something else and something else. So it's a never-ending race, right? It's the rat race, what they call. And I ignored my health. I ignored my good relationships with friends and family. But I grew the brand like anything. And then I realized, but then what? And I think COVID changed us all in different ways. And COVID forced me to stop and really made me reflect. And I realized that, okay, I need to stop. And I need to use my intelligence to fix myself first. Not like use your intelligence to get 100,000 more subscribers or 500,000 more books. Because that's kind of stupid. So I think while it's an AI conference, the most important thing in the world is your mind. And if you can't get your mind in order, nothing will be worth it. So I think it has made me realize, today I've cut down on work. I do very selective events. I black out dates when I have to do other things. I sleep properly. And yeah, I make it a point to really enjoy the present moment. Because it's not easy. All of us, all these IITians and IIM people, they are like hyper-driven, But you hit a point in your life and you're like, for what? For what? So, and I think you guys will all reach that, or maybe already are there. So that's the solution. Know that there are two different circuits in your brain and don't let one dominate the other. Both are very important for a healthy life.
So what is on now your sort of mantra in life and your style, and what are you thinking now? Because, there's still So many years ahead.
Yeah, well, I hope so. And I think that is what is reflected on my YouTube channel. If you guys go, it's basically how to make people a little more successful, for sure, to make people reach their potential. Because I feel helping others would be more fun now than me adding 2 more bestsellers or 1 more movie. And so, little more success is great, but more important than success is happiness. And happiness comes from, like, if happiness is like a table, there are 3 legs to that table: career, health, and relationships. And most of us, engineers and things like that, we are all about career. Career, 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 career. Tech conference, tech conference. You guys come and attend career conferences. This is a career conference. Will you attend a health conference? No. Will you attend a relationships conference? No. Why? Because it's all about career. And I can tell you one thing. Imagine these 3 are subjects in your report card called life, and give yourself marks out of 10 in your head. Career C, say you are 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, whatever. H, health, and R, relationships. Give yourself marks. Now, if you are 8 out of 10 in your career, but your health is 3 out of 10, for example, and you're working damn hard to make that 8, 9, even if you make it 9, you're not going to be happier. You'll be much happier if you let that be an 8, maybe let it be 7.5, 7, and make your health from 3 to 6 or 7. So this is, who's going to do this for you? Who will come one day? Your boss only wants you to do your career, right? You have to make these adjustments in your life. And this, I think, people don't realize. And this is where I have value to add, to try to help people basically fix their mind. I mean, it's not motivational speaking, really. It's mind fixing, or, helping people prioritize and use their intelligence to help themselves. Such intelligent people, that's the sad part, right? The such intelligent people who can create these companies are sad or not getting the most out of life. And that's because their priorities are not there. So I think career, health, relationships, this foundation, all the videos have one of the 3 topics on my YouTube. And I think if all of us focus, we can live much better lives than we already do. So that is fun for me. I enjoy doing that.
So I have a last question, and then I have a rapid fire round for you. So the last one is, who are the role models or people that you have been inspired by in the past or now, and what are maybe some of the lessons that you think you have picked up from them?
Yeah, they are actually entrepreneurs inspire me more than authors. Because like I said, I don't see myself as that traditional book author, because entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, try to change the world, try to have an impact on the world, and they just try to see what their potential is in life. So it does, all the tech entrepreneurs truly inspire me. They do happen to be from my college, some of them. And yeah, I mean, the Indian entrepreneurs, or even the foreign ones, even like a Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs, I mean, they changed the world we live in. So it's, whatever the issues are, that's separate, but it's fantastic and fascinating for me that they do it. They were my role models as far as career goes. Now, when I have this career health relationships, I have other people, like they may not be that famous, but I'll follow YouTubers on fitness. I'll follow YouTubers on motivation, on people who talk about relationships, how to have better relationships. Because I know everything is available on YouTube or the internet or books. But you just have to, so I think today I'm also trying to find role models in health, in relationships, people who live their life in a balanced sort of way. That I admire more. Even if you don't have $1 billion, but you're very rich in terms of relationships, or your health is very good. That to me is more better achievement than having a lot of money but horrible health and horrible relationships.
Actually, before the rapid fire, I know you have a YouTube channel. You talk about careers, health, and relationships. Maybe you can share some thoughts with the crowd on, what has been your insights that you can share with folks on career, health, and relationships, and then I'll go to the rapid fire.
I mean, this, like I said, I have 600 videos, so I'll just say very, very quickly. One is live for yourself. People don't live for themselves. We live for social conformity. We live for what society expects of us. Society expects me to be in a high position and make money. Or do you want it? Or are you doing it because society wants you? you know, and you can lie to yourself and say, no, no, this is what I want, but actually, if it is not what you want, one day it will hit you in the form of a midlife crisis or worse, a health scare or something like that. So live for yourself. A lot of us feel, no, I got to take care of my kids and my parents, my spouse, my this, my boss, my colleagues, and you ignore your own important desires, your own goals in life. And then all the advice is wasted because you're like, yeah, all this is great, but what about my kids? What about this? What about this? We have this, we have that. Don't do all this. There's a saying I heard, be yourself, the world will adjust. Be yourself, the world will adjust. That's how you have to do. Just change, Just change. If friends are calling you for dinner and you have to go to gym, oh yeah, don't go today now. You come by 7, we have to start drinking. No, dude, I have to finish and come. I'll be late. Arey yaar, what a bore you are. I'll finish, I'll come. And you come at 8:30 and they'll say, oh, gym boy has come. Fine. But they're not going to, they're like, okay, he comes late. They'll do that 2 times. From the 3rd time, arey teko pata hai, he to comes late only. He'll come by at 8:30 only. They have adjusted. But if the first time only you said, no, my friends are calling me, yaar, they're important, how can I go? Leave it. So be yourself, the world will adjust. Relax. You are the priority in your life. Nobody's going to come and tell you. Nobody's going to come and say, what are you doing, dude? Fix your life. Nobody will do. You have to do it one day. And the time is now. I mean, really, I know this wasn't that kind of a session, but like I said, natural intelligence is still more important than artificial intelligence.
Thanks.
Wisdom, I would say, is even more important than intelligence.
So this is the last rapid fire round, Chetan. So I'll give you a word and your immediate response, a word or a phrase. And then after that, we'll open it up for questions. So guys, keep your questions ready. He's warming up for your questions now. Bangalore.
Floods. Okay. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. But I was so happy that always floods in the city was Mumbai. Right? Every monsoon Mumbai photos come. People are like, cars are floating in the water, this, that. I saw again, I said, oh, what is this? Bandra? Is this where? Is it Juhu? No. It's Bangalore. Yes, not us this time. But I hope they fix that problem. I mean, it was not nice to see Ferraris floating.
Yeah. So next is...
It was kind of nice though, right?
Bentleys, actually.
Bentleys and all, Normally they show in floods like slums or getting pushed away and all that, like cycles and all that.
That's Bangalore for you.
I mean, when the visuals would have reached CNN and BBC, at least they would have thought, India is not like, okay, man, I mean,
yeah.
why, yaar? At least, thoda is good. We should do this. Thoda every year, float a few Bentleys, send the video, say, dekho, lot of floods, but it's meta messaging. We are showing, look at our cars, look at what happens. This is the average India. So, yeah, the flood, sorry. But Bangalore is amazing. Bangalore is unicorns, Bangalore is beautiful. Yeah.
So, message to all, share those videos with your friends and tell them about the Bentleys and which is what India is for. So next one, Kapil Dev.
Palmolive.
Oh.
Yeah, Palmolive, that whole thing. It was that age when you are really waiting for your beard to come. Every boy has this stage. We were weird, We thought girls get really impressed. I don't think a class 7 girl cares that you have a stubble. But we used to think Preeti is going to get so impressed. So we would fake shave on her cheeks, thinking it will stimulate growth. Absolutely smooth cheeks, and we're taking dad's razor and doing it. And that time the Palmolive ka jawab nahi ad used to come. And my father was in the army also, they get those Palmolive shaving cream and try. But also World Cup and all, yes.
Yeah.
He was here, I heard.
Yeah, he was here. Yeah. Artificial intelligence.
It's cool, I think. I think it's really cool. Is Google Maps artificial intelligence? Sort of. Or machine learning.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Narendra Modi.
Birthday? Happy birthday? Wasn't his
Happy
birthday? Yeah, he just has his birthday and all that.
Twitter.
I left. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. It's just like, you know how I think human beings have a tendency for violence. This instinct is there, especially in male people. It's been checked. At least all chimpanzees and all they fight, Like, so we have that thing of aggression. But now we live in a society, it's not liked. You can't just keep beating people up like, if he doesn't check you in fast in the flight and all. So you can't, where does that aggression come out? So I think for a lot of people, it's on Twitter. So Twitter is where they give out their primal, aggressive, like, let's fight on Twitter. And I think it feels satisfying to them in some way. So it's not for me. I'm not into that anymore. I used to be. It has helped me make my brand in a very big way. Now it's just not the same. If Elon buys, then we'll see. अब तो हम तब आएंगे जब Elon भैया चलाएंगे. But I don't know. He doesn't seem to want it. He's one of those like Rishta Pakka. He's done the engagement and then he's like, you didn't tell us she has 6 toes. He's finding something,
Yeah. So next is Shashi Tharoor.
Shashi Tharoor. So it's polar opposite. Friend, but a polar opposite. I only coined this phrase. In India, there are 2 kinds of English. One is Shashi Tharoor English and one is Chetan Bhagat English. So I think, but he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Metaverse.
I'm there. I am there wherever new things are coming. So if metaverse, I think metaverse has potential. Honestly, I feel metaverse has potential. I mean, so many, still online shopping, for example. It's still those pictures that used to be Amazon like 20 years back. It's still, I can't go and move the 3D like shirts or whatever, that should be doable with enough bandwidth and speeds. Or look at a dating app. It is still those photos and all. Imagine if there's a virtual bar and you're sending a drink and all. I mean, I can see there is some potential. Initially, these things will be there, and then later on, a lot more things. But yeah, it has potential.
Rahul Gandhi.
We were talking of metaverse, no? Okay. Rahul Gandhi is also there. I mean, he's a sweet guy. He's very good. You're bringing politics in a conference. We can't bring politics here.
So I'll end with the last, Bollywood.
Bollywood has to shape up. They are not realizing that they are still in that mode when films was, the ultimate thing. When Doordarshan used to be there and we would get no programs on TV and we would see one movie and we thought these people are gods. Now there is like, you are competing with YouTubers who are making content for no cost. And they have millions of views. And they're probably spending a few $100s on a video. And you are shooting films which are costing millions of dollars. And you have an attitude and you have arrogance. It's just not possible to compete in terms of production cost. If also YouTube and Instagram curate the content for you. So if my mother, let's say she wants to read a lot on diabetes, if you see her YouTube feed, it's all about like diabetes. Mine, though you don't even want to know what it's about. But so it curates. Whereas think about it, for a filmmaker, he thinks of a story 2 years before release. And that story has to be liked by all of India. And that's his choice now. Whereas for you, your feed is actually machine learning or whatever you call it. It's curated for you. How are films going to compete with a curated feed? I'm making food for you which I know you like. Because through trial and error, I've learned over years. Now I've made one dish and brought it. Now, how? And I want you to pay me for it. It's not easy. So Bollywood has to realize that they are fighting against some very powerful forces. And you have to adapt. You just have to adapt. So, yeah.
Thank you, Chetan. So that's the formal round now. I think audience questions.